just where it was needed. Gleaming black as night, cloistered in injustice, dead in the eye of time. Nobody's losing. Faces merge.
It's like so many shades of gray outside today. I kind of like it. Yeah, it's not actively raining. It's kind of just misting. I feel like I should have boots on and some kind of Columbia rain jacket, pair of blue jeans, some of those socks that are kind of long and sort of look like leg warmers over the top of the boots. Outfit of the day ideas. You can tell I'm not into high fashion. Here I am wearing my black sweatshirt again for the millionth time. It's okay. It's comfortable. I like it. You guys, yesterday I mentioned that my GPU vanished. It's happened a few times, and every single time it happens, it comes right after a Windows update. Coincidence? I think not. Let me turn the stereo down. We need to talk. Almost every time a big Windows update rolls out, I lose my GPU and I have to go find it. Usually I can go to a restore point and go back to the time before that big update happened. This time was extremely weird. When I went to try to restore everything, there were no restore points. They all vanished. It actually told me that I never turned on the restore function. Now I know I have. Could it be that this update actually turned off my restore function? I don't know what happened, but I was scrambling to try to get my GPU back so I could edit videos and go about my business. The GPU that I have is an NVIDIA GeForce. Apparently, NVIDIA GeForce is susceptible to vanishing. A lot of people have mentioned it. I've found a lot of discussion threads about this. I don't know who to blame. I turned my restore function back on and created a restore point. And then I used DDU, which is Device Driver Uninstaller. So I went into safe mode and I uninstalled NVIDIA. I left the other graphics card alone. After that, I restarted the computer and downloaded the GeForce Experience. So after I was able to successfully get GeForce Experience back on, which I know a lot of people don't like that one, but I'm gonna go ahead and keep using it because it made the process a lot simpler. I went ahead and got the graphics driver and everything started working again. Let's enjoy this beautiful gray. So I'm sitting here at school still, and I was just reading about the new Education Secretary's confirmation hearing. Wow. All I know is I appreciate Bernie Sanders even more. It's good to know that there are still people out there that are not just taking this lying down. Because my gosh, if you have heard the things, you guys, if you're American, I urge you to educate yourself on what's about to go down in Washington, because we are in for more than a bumpy ride. And if I see too many strange changes going on in the school system because of this education secretary, you can bet I'm probably not going to leave my kids in public school. I already have enough problem with this Common Core math. I think that there's going to be some changes in the future. That's just my 2 cents on it right now. Goodness. Generally, I try not to watch the news anymore. I used to try to keep abreast of the situation going on in the world and particularly in this country. And even though there were problems, even though there were things wrong in the world, I sort of felt like our leaders were on the same page. Everybody's goal is something good, at least the desire is a good outcome, and I don't feel like the whole system is trying to undermine itself. So today I made the mistake of opening a Twitter post about the new Secretary of Education. Education is really important to me. because I feel like informed people are empowered people. So I can't help but think somebody's trying to undermine and overthrow that concept. You talk about reforming a system. I don't know exactly what they think they're reforming, but when you appoint a Secretary of Education who does not know the difference between growth and proficiency, it sounds like a problem to me. It doesn't seem like we're going to be going in the right direction. Honestly, I'm not really sure what to expect, but I'm starting to get a bit concerned. It's not just about education. It's also about all the other cabinet members that are being appointed who are against the thing that they're appointed to. What kind of logic is this? And do they really think that we don't see what's going on? Here's part of the problem. There have been people in my life that have said to me, "Why are you worried about things that don't affect you? Why does it bother you so much? Why do you talk about it so much?" Well, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe polar bears dying off shouldn't be a big deal to me because I don't have to see them. They're not in my backyard. Maybe the fact that elephants or giraffes could be vanishing off the face of the earth in the not too distant future. Maybe it shouldn't be a big deal to me. So maybe we should look at it this way. What if polar bears are sort of like the canary in the cage? You know how the miners have the canary in the cage, and if the canary dropped dead all of a sudden, there might be some poisonous gas in the air. Maybe polar bears are sort of a warning. Or maybe giraffes vanishing from the planet is a little bit of a warning. Or maybe elephants vanishing. Or how about what if they're all gone? Because that's kind of what we're facing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I shouldn't be worried about it. Maybe I should live blissfully in ignorance like so many people do. And my life would probably be a lot easier. I remember when I was a little kid and people laughed at me when I wanted to save the whales. I feel like not much has really changed, and that's unfortunate. But I think part of the problem is that people are not educating themselves on what is really going on around them. I think it's easy to get in a bubble of your life, the things that you do and the places that you go. And if you're not seeing outside of that, you don't realize the grand scheme, what's really going on in the world, and how that someday it will affect you. Even if it's not affecting you today, in the future it will. If it doesn't affect you, it could affect your children or your children's children, and the world is not going to be as pleasant of a place. And when they're talking about animals in school, they're going to be talking about things that have gone extinct in our lifetime or our children's lifetime. Anyway, I try not to get stirred up about the cabinet appointments that the future president has put in place. But you almost can't ignore it. People are pretty upset about it, and I can see why. I am too. I mean, we already have a president-elect who has done some pretty horrible things. Just as a human being, he doesn't seem like a very nice person. I don't know why this is supposed to be better than anybody else they could have chosen. I wouldn't even care if it was another Republican. I mean, obviously, I'm not a Republican, but that's beside the point. I wouldn't have cared if it was another more reasonable Republican, but this guy, not even Republicans like this guy. We have a problem. I'm trying to refrain from talking about it. I know there are some of you out there that support the president-elect. I will try to respect that, but please educate yourself on what is going on, the appointments that he is making, and how it's going to affect you, particularly if you're concerned about the environment or you have children. Also, if you partake in the ACA or what has been termed Obamacare, please educate yourself about what is going on. Right now, the ACA is being threatened and could possibly be taken away from a lot of people that would not have otherwise had health coverage. Now, this is an issue, again, maybe it doesn't affect me personally because I personally don't have health insurance. We fall into a gap where we make too much money to receive any type of government aid. Plus, our state has opted out of the Medicaid expansion, so we don't benefit from any of that. So we fall into that hole where we make too much money for some of it, but not enough money to afford health insurance from the employer. So in that way, you would think I wouldn't care that the ACA gets repealed. But I do care because I feel like the ACA is a building block towards universal health care, which is something I am for. Anytime you have pretty much all of the industrialized nations, all of the nations with wealth in the world having universal health care except for the United States, that is sort of strange to me. It doesn't really make sense to me. And I don't know why everybody is so angry that people are not forking over $1,000 a month in some cases for health insurance, just like they are. Why do you fight for something that is hurting you just like it's hurting me? I don't know. I get pretty hot about stuff, and I really shouldn't because I guess there's really not much that I can do. I think the frustrating thing for me is that there's so many people that don't really understand what's going on, and so they don't care about it enough. I think if we cared about it just a little bit more, we wouldn't be facing these difficulties in the future. It's not just about healthcare. It's not just about education. It's not just about climate change deniers and people that are against science. It's not about just that. It's about all of it and how it's going to affect the progress of the country and the future for our children. It's a pretty big deal, and I feel like if we care about it, we should read up on it, learn about it, and vote accordingly. You know what? I've had enough bad news. So I'm going to do something to lighten the mood. I'm going to Google, is there any good news in the world? And here we have some choices. I'm going to choose one that's called sunnyskies.com. Let's see what the good news of the day is. I'm just going to read off a couple that make me smile. How about this good news? Goat yoga is booming and helping people in extraordinary ways. Let's see how it's helping people. Goat yoga. Oh my goodness. There's goat yoga classes, people. This is serious. It has become so popular. There's a 1,200 person waiting list that's growing by the day for this particular woman's goat yoga class. It's in Oregon. I used to want to live in Oregon. And it's at a farm where goats have open access to the guests. Oh my goodness. I wonder if this is like cats. Like when you're doing yoga and you're in like certain poses and cats come and stand on you, because there are pictures here of goats standing on people. That's so cute though. And little baby goats. I used to have baby goats a long time ago. Little goats standing on people. I mean, you know, if that's not good news, if that's not good news, I don't know what is. My stress levels have gone down considerably now that I've learned about goat yoga. Let's see if there's any other good news in the world besides that. This one is actually very pretty. It says a Canadian man is awakened by a crying baby, and then he sees this light pillars phenomenon. That is so pretty. So he took a picture of it. Light pillars appear when either natural or artificial light bounces off ice crystals floating close to the ground. In this case, the air was so cold that ice crystals were forming in the air, reflecting the city's streets and business lights. But it's quite gorgeous though. I wonder if that's what makes some people think that they've seen UFOs in the area. I need to go to Canada one of these days. Okay guys, I'm sorry if I offended anybody. I sometimes get very passionate about certain things. It can't be helped. It's in my nature. I've been this way since I was pretty young, and I don't see myself changing anytime soon. I do get very passionate about things. I don't know if it's very helpful for me to talk about it at all, but I needed to get some of that off of my chest because I get frustrated, as a lot of us probably do. And I'm glad to know that I am not alone in my thinking, because wait, all you have to do is just look through Twitter and you'll see what's going on in people's minds. I do need to stay off Twitter a little bit because sometimes it just makes me a little bit angry. But on the other hand, it makes me feel good that there are other people that are just as passionate and care about things in the world as well. Okay, now I'm going to find out if somehow My computer updated itself without my permission. And hopefully my graphics card is still there. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me all this time. I want to thank you so much for watching and for subscribing. I hope you all are having a great day. If not, check out sunnyskies.com. They got some cheerful and interesting news on there. And there's other websites too, if you just need a little pick-me-up. Anyway, thank you guys so much for everything. You all take care out there, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.